Oh yeah. How's it going out there to
Oh
all the
man.
Odd Horizon homies and homettes?
All the
It's that
single
time of
ladies.
the week.
All the single ladies.
Yeah, all the single ladies out there, let Jarrett know. And let Skippy know. You know.
Skippy's off the radar right now.
Yeah, Skippy's
I was gonna say
been like kinda
he's
hit
been
or
off
miss
work for an
lately.
hour and 45. Where
He's
is he
getting
at?
put to work already. Like his dad's like, you know what, this deck that we haven't finished yet, it's getting finished today. And they're out in the snow right now. They're cutting fucking wood and shit, and they're putting their finishing touches on it.
I like you're in your head, they're doing like a pioneer style deck where they're like harvesting the lumber themselves. Like,
You gotta go downtown, fucking where he lives, and just they're cutting down a tree and they're dragging it back through the yard.
you know, he's been a little kooky lately. I hope like at the end of this year, we're talking about him not being here once again, and then we're still making fun of a deck that is once again still not done.
That would be
A
tough.
possibility.
But how's everyone been doing? I know you guys have been in like a Minecraft hole, so I feel like I haven't really talked to you as much.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's gotten bad. We're hitting about I think we're hitting the end of like week 1 on the 2-week phase, so
When the
no.
turning starts, that's when the infighting begins.
Pretty much.
They sent the pictures of like when the realm is really struggling, you have to use fucking redstone torches for light.
I've been seeing those. Those are funny.
And it's just Stalin just crunched over like, oh no.
Almost every Minecraft server has a certain arc that it takes where it's like at a certain point it just does devolve into actual war. It's like tribalism, Lord of the Flies esque bullshit.
When the Minecraft world's going so bad, you gotta use beds for fucking fuel.
We will not survive the winter. Quick, burn the bedroll.
We're seeing the collapse of a post-capitalist society where we have finished products but no raw materials left. They're fighting over the cans.
No.
Maybe all the
I'm all,
tree saplings were lost in the Great Village War.
exactly. I'm all gas,
It
no
all
brakes.
changed.
War never changes.
It all changed when the
Villagers
Ender
come.
Dragon attacked.
And then the Wither came, and everybody became friends.
Then the cave dweller came.
I
No,
still really
it's
wish
still-
there were more like naturally occurring bosses in Minecraft. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Like all those
I mean,
mods that
there's
add like, oh, like there's like a labyrinth and there's like a Minotaur boss in it. Like that'd be cool.
Yeah. I mean, I tell you what, Xbox, until the other day, like surprised me with how many add-ons you can actually have. I mean,
Yeah,
there's a lot.
there's like I know there was one mod that was like exactly what you were talking about. Like it adds 6 new boss fights and not biomes, but little arenas or whatever else it might be.
Yeah.
And
it's like it's cool they added that like functionality, like being able to have the add-ons and stuff. But like, I guess the whole thing is like they're not actually. I mean, sure they're making some of those add-ons in some cases, but really they're just relying on the community to do that.
Oh yeah,
Um,
it's no different than like the Creation Club for Bethesda.
right.
But
Like you're just taking the way like, yeah, or we're gonna release like. Well, I guess now they're gonna release more than one huge update every year.
no,
But
because what that means, that one update that's so huge and adds one new tree type instead of one update, that will be 3 over the course of the year. Same amount of content, just split into 3.
takeaway
That's just
here, viewers, is that the gaming industry has become lazy.
a little bit. Like
Lazy if you're
unironically, a little bit.
lazy if you're a AAA, but I mean, I think indie developers are still working hard.
you mean
Some
all?
of them are like talented little darlings, and some of them I look at them and I'm like, this looks like Minecraft if it was made by 3 anorexic aliens. Like, I hate this. I understand at a certain point games are going to overlap and you're going to have a game that's like another game. That's, whatever. But like literally in the last year, I've seen like 3 different games that's literally just you spawn in, punch, tweet, do this, do that. And I'm like, literally just that. Like over and over again. At least like Arc adds like you have like tames, you have stuff like that. Not balanced tames, but
Does that count for like Age of Mythology? Like, I mean, you just punch a tree, get resources.
no. No, because you don't. I mean, every RTS at a certain point is the same game, so that could work. But it's also just a game format. Like I'm not going to yell at 2 games for both being FPSs, but
Right. I think that's kind of a pitfall too. I mean, I think for the most like with games like coming out with like iterations, like I mean like Age of Empires or whatever, like they have iterations. Like I'm not saying they do a poor job of it, but like sometimes I think when they're not offering like big like upgrades and like, oh, we completely revolutionized this and we're adding like all this new shit, I think like or the pitfall is if they're like, oh yeah, we just released the game last year, but hey, we just added this one feature that'll be $70, kind of like the COD model for the past couple of years.
Well, I'll tell you know who the worst offender of that is, and it's a game that none of us really play, but The Sims is
Oh
notorious
yeah.
for like it having like 100,000 expansions, and then the next game comes out and none of that is base game content, and I'm like, why is there a DLC to add the ability to like give your child sim baby clothes? Like, shouldn't that just be a thing because you can have kids in that game?
Pay
I'm
three
like, no, it's
dollars to
completely
put
different.
clothes on your baby, and it's like, hey, wait a second. You're telling me before this all the babies were fucking naked. Why?
No, they just all had the same baby blue onesie, and that's not lore accurate in
Uh,
my Sims world.
No.
Not in my head canon.
they're not my Sims. That's not how I think of my Sims.
Yeah, it literally is like I remember looking at it because I knew someone who used to be like really big into playing it, and I'm like, that used to be a feature because I played a decent amount of like Sims 3 on the computer, and I'm like, that 100% was in that game in the base game, and they were charging it as a DLC for 4 or whatever the new one is, or newest one. But I was like, that's stupid. But it's also EA, and I'm like, you know what? I shouldn't expect anything. Like,
Honestly,
It makes sense.
you just look like that would be something you would do. You do stuff like that. You kill Dead Space. You make all the great decisions.
hey, well, actually, you know what? No, I don't remember what game they're working on. Like, I just know they were work. According to Reddit, they're like devoting their energy into some other kind of game, and I don't exactly remember what kind of genre it was, but I was just like, huh, that's stupid. If you
Well, like
killed Dead Space for this, I'm not gonna be I'm gonna be pretty angry if that's the case.
I'm trying to think, who's the is it Visceral?
I think.
I'm gonna take a look at their stuff, see what they have announced.
Wait, Visceral's the one that made
Oh,
Dead Space? I thought it was.
oh, Visceral's gone.
Well, aren't they're the ones that made Dead Space, right?
Yeah,
Well, I kind of figured that after Dead Space 3 and they probably got shut down like a year or two after that, right?
no, they got shut down in 2021.
Oh, then what the hell were they doing?
That's why I'm confused.
What were you
This
doing?
is
Well,
news,
wait. Dead Space remake came out in 23, right? Or is it
right?
earlier than
Which
that?
means someone else made it. Let's see, Dead Space remake.
Because it's kind of
Who
like both those
Motive
people.
Motive Studios did it, which I know that name from somewhere else, but I don't remember what game it's associated with. Are they the ones doing that Marvel game that's coming out?
Maybe. I haven't
That like
heard
Rise
much.
of Hydra?
Game Marvel Rivals?
Yeah, they are the ones I think doing that because they have an Iron Man thing on their page. But
Uh,
so
oh,
really,
maybe they're doing the free roam Iron Man game or whatever that people whispered about.
because they also do the like they helped work on like Battlefront and a lot of Star Wars stuff. They are working on just the untitled Iron Man game. It's not the Rise of Hydra one that we saw a while ago. Apparently, they're also helping on it. They must just be like the helper team, kind of like what Sledgehammer or not Sledgehammer, Raven is for Call of Duty, where they kind of work on all of them now.
Mm-hmm.
Because they also work on Battlefield in collaboration with Dice, Criterion, and Ripple Effect, which that's a new name. I don't think I've seen that attached to a project before, but they're the ones who did the remake. Long story short,
Mm.
um, yeah, no,
Gonna,
that's interesting. I didn't actually. I thought it was the original team remastered the game.
no, because I'm pretty sure the original team created a different studio so they could
Oh,
make like Callisto Project
they
and
did
shit.
that game, and I looked at it. I was like, that doesn't look great.
It was all right. I mean, it wasn't like, oh my god, this is Dead Space. I'm having a blast. Like, it was okay. Like, I'm not saying it was great or anything,
Like,
but it definitely
is it
wasn't Dead Space
worthwhile?
level. But I mean, if it's on sale for a I wouldn't say I
I think
haven't
it's on
say it's
Game
not
Pass.
bad. I wouldn't if it's on Game Pass. I'd definitely play it.
All right. I'm gonna put that on my list because I know we had talked about it, and I didn't end up hearing what your final verdict was on it. Because when you first started playing, I got as my review, and I was like, I'll wait.
Yeah, like, it was all right.
All right.
Hard difficulty on it was a pain, but Andrew, when you said Dice, like it, I was gonna go on a tangent until we got on the Callisto Project thing, but what the fuck is DICE working on? Are they like
Probably
full steam
next.
ahead of like Battlefield?
I was gonna say probably next Battlefield because they can't do another Battlefront game because they basically just said we can't afford it. The licensing rights are too expensive to maintain.
Disney pisses me off. I can't.
Yeah, because it's like, why wouldn't you? You're not developing another game in that market. Why wouldn't you let them just keep working?
Well, it's that, and it's also like we go from like when it was actually owned by George Lucas. I know it's a different like era when we were getting Star Wars games like maybe 4 times a year. Like it was crazy. Like I know we're not gonna get to that level again, but like
You want
at
the
least
next Star
letting
Wars?
at least letting people fucking try to make games and stuff. But it's probably that whole thing of like everything Star Wars that is being output has to be canon.
Which bothers me a lot, actually. Like, it's fine to have non-canon stuff, or if you're worried about canon, just tell them it has to be a story that's just clearly heavily differentiated and far away from the other stuff. Everything
Mm-hmm.
plays nice with each other, but that would involve creative writing, and that's kind of hard for people at Star Wars apparently because everything has to be a story about a guy and a child.
Well, it'd be that, or they'd be like, "Oh, it's 2,000 years before this," and then like either like halfway through the game or at the end, there will be somebody like, "What's your name?" "Oh, it's Skywalker." Uh, Shmi Skywalker. It's like,
The Shmi
all right.
Skywalker origin story.
She's actually 2,000 years old, Doug.
I want to hear the lore about how she got sold into slavery under Watto. 'Cause they never talk about that. I'm like, how did you end up like? Were you like born into it? Like,
Like
I think a book might have touched on it, but
maybe it was like creditor's prison. Like, oh hey, you owe me money. Well, guess what? You're going to the desert planet where there's 2 suns and there's Tuscan raiders everywhere, and also the huts are a thing.
yeah, you're talking to me like that, Jabba.
You Tusabunga! You're mine now. It'd be like that psycho kid, like from like that one YouTube channel, like how it just, oh yeah, my dad just rode over my video games, and then like literally the last episode of that entire series is I'm fleeing the country to Antarctica. I'm like, all right.
I don't remember that. I remember the first part very clearly, like very vividly. I don't remember that last part you're talking
I
about.
don't think it was the Antarctica, but I do know it was like I am fleeing the country because I think the whole story wrapped up like, oh man, like I finally had enough and dad paid the price. I'm leaving the country.
He killed his dad.
Yes.
Jesus.
Like I think it was like all acted of course, but like it was just kind of it was just
No, he
weird. I
actually
was
killed
like,
his father.
yeah, like literally live streamed it.
Literally murdered his father in cold blood on YouTube and said, and upload. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Oh god. But yeah.
That was a fun era.
Do we remember Fred?
Unfortunately, I remember
John
Fred,
Cena's
yes.
kid.
Ba-ba-da-ba.
He has a kid?
You never watched the Fred movies?
No. Jared, what are you talking about?
Oh, Fred's John Cena's kid.
Oh, okay. I thought you said, "Have you seen Fred's kid?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Is there like a prequel or like a sequel I don't know about talking about the son of Fred?" Like,
His son's actually like Mike Tyson or something. Like,
that'd be great. But I want to be old shriveled up Mike Tyson like we saw before that fight where the cameraman showed his bare butt cheeks in the locker room.
that's so unfortunate. Like that's literally I refuse to see the fight, and then I open TikTok the next day and I just see Mike Tyson's ass, and I'm like, all right, what kind of
The
fight
amount
was
of
going
meat.
on, dog?
Dude, the camera just followed it. It didn't look away. He was just panning with his bare exposed cheeks, and I'm like, that was a choice. Like he
Yeah.
had an artistic vision. He saw it through. Like I'm trying to think are there any other big game things to talk about right now? I know we're kind of in that weird lull where we just got some stuff and now we have to wait till like March, April at the
I guess
earliest for
I guess one thing is like we're gonna determine whether or not Ubisoft's a company anymore in
company.
February. Like,
February 14th. Mark your calendars. I got something real special planned for that day.
what an odd day to release it too. It's Valentine's Day.
That's why it's for all the people who had no girlfriend. I hate to
Right.
dunk on gamers, be like, oh, they're all, they don't have girlfriends. I'm not trying to be like that, but like that's a very bold decision to just go. It's coming out on Valentine's Day after all these delays, and he pushed it into the year where Ghost of Yotei is coming out. And I'm like,
Well, it's that. Like, they're lucky GTA is not releasing in the first quarter. And what's the game that comes out right before? I know there's also another game that's coming out like the 13th, and I am just tripping on I'm blanking on what it's called.
There's a lot of big anime coming out, isn't there? Sorry, I don't mean to change subjects.
we can talk about that
Um,
too.
Like I know, like what? Shit. Solo Leveling just came back. I know. I don't. Andrew, did you ever watch Nocturne, Castlevania?
Yeah.
I know that's coming back like the 17th, ain't it? Season 2.
Yeah,
on this one?
actually, I think you're right. Something like that.
I think I just saw it on Netflix.
Ooh, it's all gonna get launched too. I'm excited.
That'll be nice. I have to wait for any dub to come out. Just everything all at once.
It's
Yeah.
not even the waiting for the dub. It's Jarrett wants every episode available right now, gotta go right now. Like,
Okay, like I want that because I have no life and I binge stuff, but like
Obviously.
I think right now because of how popular the genre or anime in America is right now, that these production companies need to be like on top of it when it comes to dubbing. Like fucking Dandadan was like no delay time. They released at the same time in America. I'm like, that's how it probably should be. Like
like
I get the scheduling and stuff for some actors and stuff is just not feasible for that, but it's irritating, especially with
right.
like stuff like Bleach. And it's like, oh, well, it's been like 8 weeks since we launched the first episode in sub, and we still don't have dub. And it's like, what are you guys doing? Like,
But like
it's
you said, I
more.
mean, it's the cast.
I don't know. I don't really know how voice recording works or anything like that and how they do it. I kind of wish they just make them all sit down, like, hey, for the next like month. We're all working on this. We're getting everything voiced for seasons 3 and 4, and like that's
Yeah,
it.
no, they don't. No, they
But like,
because they
I
they have to have the animation to go off of for
yeah,
the dubbing.
that's like the thing. Like that's the thing. It's like yeah, like but and then I get how fucking hard animation is, like because the Japanese people that are like actually making it, they don't see their families for like 6 months. Like they're just at work all the time animating. But
Yeah, that's the big holdup on those kinds of projects is just the actual raw animation compared like because like if you go watch like you can go on YouTube and pull up like specific examples of what I'm about to describe, but like one I'm going to call out is like you can look up like the booth voice recordings for like Dragon Ball Battle of Gods and see what that process looks like, where it's like Goku's voice actor watching the scene where like the scene that made you want to watch Dragon Ball, Jarrett,
mhm.
where he screams, I won't let you destroy my world. That scene's him watching that actual animation sequence and then knowing how to time certain reactions and like he can like certain characteristics he can channel and whatnot. Um, because it's basically them just trying to interpret the data that's in front of them is basically what it boils down to.
Right. Yeah.
But it's an interesting process. One you're
Like,
gonna have to learn here in the coming months, I'm sure, because I'm gonna bully you guys into a project.
yeah, that'll be fine. That'll be fine. But while I can give anime a pass to a certain point, I can't give a
Oh,
pass to Invincible.
I was gonna. Yep, I knew it was coming.
Like, no, I'm sorry, bro. Like, you're telling me, like, no. Here's the first 4 episodes. Wait 3 months, and then we get an episode about animation's hard.
I was gonna
You
say
were
that's the worst part is that it's them going, but look how hard it is, and I'm like, it is hard, but like also
But
you're
like,
like groveling.
well, it's that, but it's like Invincible's good. It's got great art and whatever, but like it's not like you're doing anything revolutionary.
No,
Like you're not like Mappa in there cooking. Like you're just not. Like
it's because like if you go and watch like especially like there's the one section that did irk me where like in their first season which like it's a great episode I'm going to talk about the finale here, spoiler for the finale of Invincible season 1, but when Mark is fighting his dad, there's the scene when they're in Chicago or whatever, I want to say Chicago, and he gets sent tumbling down the street, and the animation is literally just 2 frames, one where he's right side up and one where his feet to the sky, and it's
Mhm.
just 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. It's like that's not animation. That's a flip note. Like, I mean, technically it's animated, but yeah, it's nothing too impressive in terms of, like, I mean, it's better than I can do. I can't do that, but I also don't claim to be an
Right.
animator. Like,
It just it just goes back to like, back in the day when I was like
there you go.
8, they were having cartoons come out with like 80 episode seasons a year.
Yeah, and I think they got to see their family still, so like clearly something's up.
Right.
I
Back
don't
in
know.
my day, we used to have good television.
Like it's unfortunate because I feel like the quality of the stories we're getting animated now is better than when we were younger in terms of
Mhm.
like the actual like narratives themselves. It's just the for whatever reason, even with the advancements of technology, it feels like everything's slowing down on production side, which is interesting.
I think it also kind of has to do with like the whole writer's strike and like just all those other kinds of protests going on. But like, I guess
That's
that
fair.
affects Hollywood more, and maybe that just bleeds into TV and stuff, even animated TV. But who knows? The Illuminati's real. They're taking over all
Thanks for
video
that.
production.
We have to defend Super Earth.
Glory
I
to
don't.
Proxima.
Those enemies are horrifying, but
Oh my god, they kicked our ass pretty bad.
like I was expecting lizard people when it came to Illuminati, but like it was just straight up zombies. I'm like, oh,
I was expecting like real people, like not like real people, but
Real
people.
people.
they're
Right.
not even real, kinda. But all right, I guess. Or does that seem like a good spot to end? Given our
Unless anyone
viewers,
else has something they want to chime in with. Anything I'm forgetting in terms of major developments, fun things, general complaints about
Favorite
Subway,
brand of sweatpants? Go.
favorite brand of sweatpants.
Yes. So little backstory. I can't find a good pair of sweatpants. Like I bought a pair of Champs like 5 years ago and they were
Oh,
great. They're getting a little
yeah.
worn now and I can't really find them. So recently I've been buying a couple different things. Like I bought like a Duluth Trading pair of sweatpants and
Mhm.
they're okay. They're not my favorite. They're pricey. Went to Walmart like this weekend, like the white trailer trash I am, and bought a pair of $17 sweatpants and my god, I tell you what, they're so goddamn comfortable.
Oh yeah.
like I'm not really.
I don't know how long they'll last, but I tell you what, they are comfortable.
I guess I'm not
That's all
really
that
brand
matters.
loyal when it comes to sweatpants.
Well, I'm
Like
not either, but I just want
like
something that's comfortable and fits reasonable.
for the most part, like with gym shorts and stuff, I go usually Nike or Under Armour.
Right.
But
Right.
like for sweatpants and stuff, I don't really. I think I might have had a couple of branded ones, but like maybe I have more champions than champs than I think. But I haven't actually really paid that close attention.
Yeah, I want to say most of mine are different brands. I know I have a pair of Pumas that's probably my favorite pair of sweatpants I've ever had. Um, those are really solid. They're like a nice like medium thick. I don't like super thick because I'm hot all the time.
Right.
So a nice.
That's,
It's not like windbreaker, but a little bit thicker than
right.
that.
Right. That's how these Walmart are. They're probably a little thicker than I would prefer, like a smidge, but they're
Mhm.
soft, they're comfortable, they flex well, make my butt look nice. I mean, they just check all the boxes.
I just
Does
thought
it
of
have juicy
something.
plaster across the ass of them?
Oh yeah.
We can go to Ren Fair, but we're all wearing sweatsuits.
I mean, sure, Jarrett. That's a great idea. You're full of such such innovation. We'll go down from last year, Cole looking badass like the Night's Watch, and then us rolling up in pink and juicy sweatpants.
No, Cole needs to wear a Rocky outfit before, and he just gotta walk around the whole time, like just jumping around, like kickboxing and shit, and like
Yeah.
act
Like
like he's
Rocky did.
training for the the fucking hammer belt, whatever it's called.
Oh yeah.
Oh, when he
Bastard.
fought Hulk Hogan,
Yeah.
Thunder
Yeah.
Lips or whatever.
Yeah. That fucking dude.
I was like, that movie's weird. Like, movie's a little weird.
Man,
Yeah.
I,
No, I think that is it. I think that is Thunder Lips. Is that his name? It sounds it sounds horribly offensive, but I think it's correct. Yeah, it is Thunderlips. Played by Hulk
Every time
Hogan in
Andrew
Rocky
says
III.
Thunderlips, I think we should just bleep it out just to make it sound like he's saying something worse.
we should
Thunderlips,
do
Thunderlips,
a
Thunderlips, Thunderlips.
we should do a Zoolander remake, and Cole, that's your name.
Stop bringing up
Thunderlips.
Zoolander.
Oh no, Jarrett! No, Jarrett has a point. We watched that. We watched the first one the other day, and it was.
It's a
pretty
great
fucking
movie.
good. It is.
We just
Second one's not good.
Ew.
I don't remember. I don't think I ever watched the second one. I was supposed to go watch the second one when I was in 8th grade, and they wouldn't let me in for
It's
obvious
bad.
reasons. For obvious reasons.
It was yeah, no, it was weird. Like, there's a lot of things that have not aged well, even though that movie came out in like 2017 or whatever. I'm like, ooh, that's weird that this is the one that aged poorly. It does have Penelope Cruz in it, so that gives. I mean, I think it's worth at least maybe one rewatch. Just because it's Penelope Cruz. I mean, I'm dumb, but I'm not an idiot. Like,
And now I don't think I've actually watched the second one. Is the second one as star-studded as the first one was? mean, Will Ferrell, Jerry. Oh my god, Jerry
Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller's
Stiller.
dead. Yes, there's just so many
Jerry
people in
Seinfeld.
that.
Owen
Yes.
Wilson.
Yeah, no, it's got like Benedict Cumberbatch is in the second one,
Is
in
he
a really
really?
bad role. He plays a character named All.
Oh.
And All is the model who shows and appears to present neither like male or female. And that character, even back then, I was like, can they show that? Like, can they do that? I was like, even back then, I was like, that seems like in poor taste.
Is
But
it Robert Downey Jr. level with Tropic Thunder?
no, because like again, that one, the joke isn't on people. The joke's on people who think they could play anyone in Hollywood, more so than making fun of any group of people. But this was just like, that's making fun of them, like just out in the
real.
open. Like, here it is. I'm like,
Absolutely.
It was like an 80s film when it came to
yeah. Literally, I was like, when did this movie come out? Like,
2010. Okay.
I'm like, damn, that's horrible. And wrap things up, and we gotta get on to the next project. But
Yes, sir.
any closing
Remember,
notes?
Remember, viewers, the Illuminati's real.
And they're lizards or zombies or Mediterranean.
So if you look at your coworker or a loved one next time and they seem a little scaly, they probably are.
That's right, kids. Ew.
Does that count?
All right, we're done.
What did you say?
It said slimy.
It's slimy. See you, everybody.
Adios.
Ciao.